it is locking your knee as you put weight on that leg, so that it doesn't collapse underneath you.
Okay, so if you ever need those, it doesn't.
But bend your knees, keep rocking.
Adam.
Okay. Doesn't really work that well. Your hips are bent.
From here?
Okay, but you can tell it's much bigger, pops out a lot with your legs straight. You feel it? So your tensor fasciae lata is locking your knees. Your hamstrings are performing the extension that keeps your legs underneath you while you're standing. And then your gastrocnemius and then your foot muscles are keeping your foot flat on the floor. The gluteus medius is actually grabbing each side of your hip, and the action of the gluteus medius from anatomical position is abduction. Right? It does that. But with my foot planted, it changes things. The muscle's so strong that even with my foot planted, it will just tilt my body instead of raising my leg. Okay? Every time you step on this muscle, tilts your body up, tilts this hip up high enough that your foot doesn't drag the ground as it goes underneath you. Okay? If this muscle doesn't work, you have to lean over far enough to create enough space with your pelvis, to pull your pelvis up with your abdominal muscles on that side, and then bring your foot around the other foot. And so people walk like this, and we kind of assume that their problem, right, that their problem is on this side. It's not. This side works great. What they have a problem is their gluteus medius on this side doesn't work. And you can actually, if you give them plant, a lot of people will go from walking like this. You give them a cane, just a toe pitch cane, and you go walking like this. Because they don't need to lean anymore. If they have their hand on something, they can now use their abdominal muscle to lift their pelvis up and bring their foot around. And you can change completely their gait. So, that's hips and pelvises and stuff. And the other thing I was teaching was this muscle, okay? The vastus medialis. And vastus medialis, the thing about it was is that if you look on these guys, the orientation of the fibers is completely opposite all of the other muscles. All the other muscles, the orientation of the fibers in the muscles run down the leg. Okay, except for rectus femoris because it's a bipinnate muscle. Okay, but they run this way. The problem with it is, if you look at someone's thigh, not somebody who's old, but if you look at someone's thigh, most of the muscle is on the lateral side of the leg. Right? And it's coming from my hip bone, and my knee is medial to my hip. So, the straight line that goes down to my tibial tuberosity does not include my patella. So the vastus medialis' only job is to get that kneecap over in the groove so that it doesn't rub on either side of the groove of the femur. Does that make sense? Why do you need to have a groove and why does it need to be there? It's because you need your knees to bend backwards. Okay? And not to the side, which would happen if the patella was where they were straight in line. And your legs would clack with each other immediately when you tried to run. Does that make sense? So to get your legs completely straight, you have to have a vastus medialis, this muscle on the inside, strong enough to move the kneecap over. When you get older, one of the first muscles you lose strength in is vastus medialis. So people try to run, they're, oh man, I'm getting out of shape, I gotta start running or something. They start running, they start getting knee pain. The lateral side of their knee from their patella getting pulled over up against the lateral side, rubbing up against the femoral condyle on the lateral side. And so they're fine at first, but after about a half mile, they start getting knee swelling and stuff from the patella, rubbing off its cartilage on the lateral side. You can just get an orthotic that pushes it over. That's what the test is. It's called the apprehension test. If I push here, on the medial side, pushing it up against that lateral wall, will I extend their leg, and they're like, oh, that's it. But if I go to the other side and I push their patella this way, as I extend their leg, oh, the pain's gone. So you just need to give them an orthotic, push their kneecap over so they don't stop running, and then give them exercises that work just on vastus medialis, the last 15 degrees to get that muscle strong enough.
Okay, so I have how do I get to that? How do I target that spot?
Total body. Total body. There is no place you can work with your body.
But is that the best?
Yeah, if it seems like there's a muscle and it's kind of not too strong, that's vastus medialis, and the exercises are to do seated knee extensions, just the last 15 degrees with your feet.